guys, we are here for the book club review, the final wrap-up of The Boyfriend by Freida McFadden. I am going to start this with, I absolutely devoured this book. I read this book in one sitting. I have done that with many Freida McFadden books. She is so good at grasping my attention. I read The Housemaid in one sitting. I read The Inmate in one sitting. Now I can add The Boyfriend to that list. The only two books of her that I did not read in a day was The Housemaid is Watching and The Housemaid's Secret. And I think it's just because it's a sequel and a, what do you call the third one? I don't know. But those don't capture my attention as much as like the originals. But even those I finished in 2, 3, 4 days. But all her original works I have finished in a day. I started the book at 8 p.m. I told myself, oh, I'll read for an hour or two and then I'll go to bed. Next thing I knew, guys, it was 4 a.m. So I read that book straight through from 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. So needless to say, I loved it. It definitely got my attention. 5 stars. So far, all my Freida books are 5 stars. I might not like the second and third Housemaid as much as the first. Actually, I love the second one just as much. The third one was probably the most like of the 3. But I did like the continuation of the story and I still really liked it. Like I said, in my opinion, all her books are 5 stars. You guys definitely let me know what you would rate it, what you think of the book, of the author. Is this your first book by her? Have you read other books by her? But now we are going to get into answering the questions. Don't forget, I don't do this alone. I do this with my friend Charmaine, so definitely go check her out. I am dying to hear her answers to these questions. It has been a little bit since we did a review because we ended up skipping The Whispering Skull, so we haven't had like a review video on our channel maybe in like 2 months. It's been a bit, and I love hearing Charmaine talk about books, so I cannot wait to get over there and see what she thinks of The Boyfriend. But we're gonna get right into this. So number 1 is compare Sydney and Bonnie's approach to dating. What are the pros and cons of using dating apps, and have you ever used one? So Bonnie is definitely like quantity. I was going to say quality, but no, it's quantity. She wants to go on as many dates as possible. They describe how there's 7 days in a week, and she will literally have a dinner date every single day. Sometimes even multiple dates, because you can have a lunch date. And I think she figures, it's almost like that. You got to kiss your frog to get your prince. I think she figures the more she dates, the more likely she is to get her Prince Charming. Not that there's anything wrong with that. And everyone's different. So I tell I have a friend who is single right now who's sitting at home, and I'm like, girl, you're never gonna find a significant other sitting at home. You need to go out. You need to do things you enjoy. I'm not saying you necessarily have to go out and hunt for somebody. That is a weird way to say it, because it's not like we're animals and not hunting for animals. But when you go out with the pursue, I guess is a better way to say it. When you go out into any setting, bar, club, whatever it might be, with the intentions to pursue for a date, I feel like sometimes you give off a different vibe than who you are naturally. So I've been telling my friend, just do things you enjoy, whether it's the library, Starbucks, a paint night, like literally anything, but you'll never find someone sitting at home. So I am very much about balance. I think Bonnie is a little like too much in my opinion. I would be exhausted. I haven't been single in a while, but I remember hating it when I was. Some people love it and thrive off singlehood, and that seemed like that's Bonnie's thing. Where Sydney was the opposite. Sydney was definitely like a relationship girly. She was dating with the means to an end. She didn't really like enjoy the dating process, and she just wanted to be in a relationship. She wanted the cozy, stay at home, order takeout, watch a movie and cuddle together. But she knew she couldn't have that without the dating beforehand. But dating was more almost like a chore, because she didn't want to have to go through a million frogs to get her prince, which I get 100%. So their dating approach is very different. Pros and cons for using apps. Pros definitely is like you can meet people you normally wouldn't meet that might not be in your circle. Like my friend, the one that was talking about that's single, when she was in a relationship, she matched with someone because we went to go see a Boston Red Sox game. We were in Boston. And she wouldn't have normally matched that person if we hadn't been in that area. And she had a very long relationship with that person. They were together like 4 years. It definitely gives you more availability. It branches you out versus like the little city that you're in. But there is definitely some cons. In my opinion, there's more cons than pros. I will say though, as a fat woman, I feel like dating apps are more difficult for us, because I have a lot of friends that are thin and gorgeous and they're on the dating apps and they tend to have an easier time. And I know my best friend who just got married in September that I was in the wedding, she met her boyfriend through Tinder. More and more people are meeting online. That is the new norm. But I will say it definitely was not successful for me. The day I deleted those apps was the day I had a sigh of relief, because I would get very nasty messages. I would get people sending me pictures of their genitals. I would get, you sit on my face? Can you smush me? Can I feed you? I would get really inappropriate comments and messages because of my size. And then if I turned people down, it was, oh, you're a fat whale anyway. I didn't want you. I just wanted sex. I hated my experience on dating apps. I was literally getting anxiety going on them. So I said, I'm not doing this to myself. I will have to meet somebody a different way. I deleted them all, and I finally felt like, whew. And then I met Joe in person, in real life, not that long after. And he was a breath of fresh air for sure. Do I think people can be successful in dating apps? Yes. I know friends who have been very successful. And I don't want to lump all fat people together. I'm sure there are fat people out there that have had very successful dating app stories. That just was not my experience, sadly. But it all worked out. I met Joe, and it's totally fine. So there's definitely pros and cons to dating apps. I wouldn't necessarily, if I'm ever single again, be opposed to them. I don't plan on ever being on them again. I hope I never have to be on them again. And even if me and Joe broke up, I don't think I would go looking for quite some time, if ever, because I see what's out there sometimes, and I am so very comfortable where I am. But that answers the last question. Have I ever used one? Yes, I have. I met my first serious relationship, I was 20. It wasn't through a dating app. It was through a friend. And then we dated from 20 to 25. And I always thought I would never be, I was like, oh, I guess I never get to the dating app thing, because I always thought he was my person. But things happen. You get older, things change. And then we broke up when I was 25, and I was single for a year before I met Joe. And it was that year where I was on the dating apps. And another thing is, if you are bigger, or if you're looking for something serious, you just got to make sure you're very particular in that bio. Like, only looking for a serious relationship. But sometimes it doesn't matter, because I would put that and people would still be messaging me dirty things. But definitely put what's important to you in that bio. In my opinion, I mean, to each their own. But, like, if I had a kid, that's something I would put in that bio, because some people, like, that's a deal breaker for them. They don't want someone who has children. And they feel like you're hiding it from them if you don't state it in the beginning. But I understand why some people want to, like, ease into that a little bit. With weight, I always had a full body picture as one of my pictures, because I never wanted people to think I was catfishing them. I always, and I put BBW, which is Big Beautiful Woman. I always put that in my bio, so that way no one ever could say I was catfishing them, because that was always, like, my biggest fear, because I don't want anyone to, like, I know I'm not for everybody. There are also people that love me and wanted to feed me. But I used to put that right away. I used to be like, because if you're not into that, if that's not something that you're interested in, let's not waste each other's time, So, to me, looks are the last thing on my list, but I know for some people that matters to them. So that is my answer to number 1. Number 2, is Slug a good person? Why do you think him and Tom stick together? This one's tough. I think he's a good friend. I don't know if he's a good person. He's a really good friend to Tom. But the fact that he thought, of course, it's going to have spoilers, guys. We're doing the review. The fact that he thought Tom killed Allison and he was just, like, okay with it is weird to me. I don't even know if that's really a good friend, but technically, yeah, that makes him a good friend to Tom, because he's not telling Tom secrets. But that definitely doesn't make him a good person. If I thought somebody killed somebody, I would be calling the cops. It's one thing helping him with his dad, because the dad, not that he deserved to die, but the dad was not a good guy. The dad was abusive and every bad guy. So Tom killing his dad wasn't necessarily, in my opinion, an evil act. And I could see Slug helping him with that, because Slug knew the kind of person that his dad was. So, him getting there, wrapping him up in the rug, throwing him into the river. No, they buried him. Whatever it was. That I didn't necessarily think as a bad thing. But the fact that he was so nonchalant about him killing Allison, And he was like, oh, take care of Daisy the way you took care of Allison or whatever. I was just like, wow, I can't believe he's that chill. Because, one murder is bad enough. Let's not add 2 murders. And then you're killing one person just to cover up the death of another person. So, like, I don't think Slug is a good person. But I don't think he's a necessarily evil person. Like, I don't know, that one's really rough. Like, life is not all black and white. There's a lot of gray in life, and Slug is in that gray. He's not a good person, but he's not, like, evil, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, serial killers are evil. They're literally killing people just for the joy of killing people. Where not that killing is good no matter what. And I don't even know if I'm going to be demonetized now on YouTube because I don't know if I can say that word. But it's one thing to kill somebody just for the act of doing it, and it's another thing to do it for having a reason behind it. That's why there's 2 different sentences when it's premeditated murder and, like, in the moment murder. Because, or, like, you guys understand what I'm trying to say. That one is a tough one. You guys let me know what you think. And then why do you think him and Tom stick together? Because they are the outcasts. I don't know about Tom. Maybe Tom, when he was little, he was an outcast. It seems like he's a handsome guy and popular and ladies like him. Slug is definitely the opposite. But you can tell Tom struggles to connect with people. He literally says Tom is his only friend. And even like when you go into present tense and he says, my best friend died 20 years ago and I've never had a best friend since. Because he doesn't connect with other people. And he did connect with Slug, and that's why they stick together. They're both in that weird gray area. Neither of them are like evil in my opinion, but neither of them are good people either. So that's why they're kind of like perfect together. Number 3, after Bonnie's murder, it becomes apparent to Jake that a serial killer is on the loose. What is the killer's MO? Who do they seem to target and why? So they seem to target women on the Catch app. That is why Jake calls Sydney and tells her not to be on the apps and not to go dating right now, because the people that are being killed by this serial killer are women on the Catch app. So you're assuming that the killer is a man who is dating these women. And then obviously you find out at the end that is actually not the case. There is a connection to a man dating the women, but it is not necessarily a man who's doing the killing. Number 4, why does Allison hate Tom so much? Are her feelings justified? So Allison knows that Tom, and I think her name was Brandy, kissed. And then she knows that Brandy went missing. So in Allison's mind, she knows that Tom had something to do with her disappearance. And because they are in biology class together, and she sees how excited he gets with dissecting the animals, with using the scalpel, with cutting them open, with watching, studying the organs and the blood, she knows that Tom is twisted. She knows that he's up to something, that he's different, unique, whatever word you want to use. But that is why she hates him so much. And I think her feelings are very justified. I would probably be a little creeped out by Tom too. Especially then once you find out he's dating your best friend. You're like, what the Number 5, count the ways Tom seems like a perfect boyfriend. And what ways does he seem not so perfect? So he's definitely like a gentleman. Like he's always holding the door open for her. He takes care of her, like, when she cuts her finger, when she has the nosebleed, when she talks about getting her period. He doesn't let little things like that bother him like most men do. He's very, like, considerate of her. He does seem like a really, really good boyfriend in a lot of ways. Like, even that day when they get stopped, when they're in Chinatown, and the woman is like, oh, you were so kind to me when my husband passed away. You sat there, you answered all my questions. You could tell he is, like, a caring human being. And then, obviously, the ways he's not so perfect is, like, he's using a burner phone to communicate with her. He's not willing to meet her friends. He doesn't want anything posted on social media. He won't go to the same restaurant twice. So it really seems like he's hiding something, and you're really wondering what he's hiding. But then you find out that he does all those things because he doesn't want Daisy to find out who he's dating. Major spoiler alert. The reason he doesn't want Daisy to find out who he's dating is because whenever Daisy finds out who he's dating, Daisy murders them. Daisy is the killer. She is a serial killer. So it's not a man that is finding people through catch. It is he's meeting these women through catch. You find out that he's the one that dated Bonnie, who was murdered in her building. So she kills the people that Tom is interested in because she loves Tom. She is a weird, evil, sadistic person. Like I said, Tom is strange, but at least he doesn't kill people. The only person he killed was his father, and because his father was an abusive man. You could tell he's interested in it. You can tell he likes the blood and the goriness and that kind of stuff. But that's why he becomes a surgeon, and then he ends up becoming the person who does autopsies. So that way he can do what he's interested in without hurting people. Where Daisy doesn't give two Fs and will kill people. So at the end of the day, Tom's obviously not a perfect boyfriend, but I don't think he's a bad person either. He's just a very peculiar person, that is for sure. But I don't think he's the person for Sydney. That's for sure too. Number 6, Sydney can't help but feel unsettled around Randy. Why is that? They always said that Randy kind of gave off weird vibes. Even Bonnie felt a little uncomfortable around him. That's for a while you think Randy is the killer. That, Freida definitely puts you in that path, especially like that little he buys an anthill and makes you think that he's Slug because Slug loved ants. She's definitely good at making you get so hardcore thinking that one person is the killer that you totally don't think about any of the other characters, and then you find out that Gretchen is Daisy and you're like, what the fuck? My jaw dropped. And I think that's one reason I love Freida McFadden. I never ever guess her endings. Literally, I never guess her endings. I am always shocked and surprised. There's a lot of books where I guess the ending, and that's why I truly love her, and that's why she's always 5-star for me. And then when she finds out that Randy, the night of Bonnie's murder, did not have an alibi, then she really starts to feel uncomfortable because she really thinks he's involved in the murder. And that's what makes you lean towards him. And you find out it was Gretchen, who is really Daisy. She lied and said it was his alibi, but she was actually the one that wasn't with him that night because she was killing Bonnie. Number 7, consider Tom's mother's choice to protect her son through though she suspects he's guilty of something terrible. Do you think she made the right decision? What would you have done in her position? Now again, Tom killed his dad, but his dad was a bad person. His dad was abusive. His dad literally poked him with a fire stick, cut open his skin and let him bleed. His dad has abused their mother over and over and over again, and it was not stopping anytime soon. The father was a drunk. So that, I think, is why the mom did not call the cops. I don't know. I'm not a parent, but I feel like if your son or daughter or child murders a person, if they are a serial killer, you are going to call 911. I think if you're a normal, sane person, could be wrong. I don't know. I don't have children of my own. But in my opinion, if my child did something like that, I would report them because I would feel so much guilt for the lives lost due to my child. I'd probably still love them. I'd probably still feel some kind of connection unless they're like a sociopath. I don't know. But I would assume serial killers are sociopaths. I don't know. I could visit them in prison, but I do not think I would allow them to continue on with what they're doing. But Tom's situation was different. He killed one person, and the person was a bad person. And I think that's why the mother does what she does, and she decides not to report him, and she decides to just cover it up and let it be. I do think it's funny that they never talked about it. I feel like that is something I would have to talk about my son with or daughter. I'd be like, okay, I understand why you did it, but tell me what happened. Or like, where's his body? So that way I know if I ever hear it on the news that a body was uncovered and blah, 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 I can give you a heads up or something like that. So, and I think I would have done the same in her position. Like I said, if it was like a situation where they're killing random people, that's different. But if it was one person, and it was mostly for her protection, because the father very rarely harmed him. There was only that one night where he harmed him. He mostly harmed the mother. So he was doing it out of love for his mom. Did he go a little crazy with it, slitting his throat and watching the blood come out? Yeah, but the mother doesn't know all that. So I think at the end of the day, she realizes that he killed his dad because he was a bad guy and he was harming his mom. And at the end of the day, I feel like I probably would have done the same in that situation. Let me know what you guys think about that one. Number 8, this story is told between 2 perspectives and timelines. Did this make the read more suspenseful? Were you able to predict any of the twists? No, I did not predict the twists. I never predict them with Freida. If you guys did, good for you. Let me know in the comments because I would love to know that. It did, I don't know about more suspenseful, but it definitely got my attention. I love dual points of view. That is one of my favorite, like, things to read. And I also like dual timelines, and this has that dual timeline and dual point of view, so I ate it up. Like I said, I read it in like 8 hours. It was so good because I knew there was a connection. I was like, Tom and Sydney are connected. In the beginning, you have no idea, so I'm like, I need to know what their connection is. So I kept flipping the pages. Then you find out that Tom is the guy that Sydney's dating. And then you're like, oh my God, I need to know what happens. And I just kept flipping the pages. So I don't know about more suspenseful. I don't think it added suspense, but it added interest for me because I am someone who likes dual timeline. I am someone who likes dual point of view. If you're someone who doesn't like that, that might have been more annoying for you. Answer this question for me. I'm very curious. Do you guys like dual point of view? Do you like the way this book was written? Did you not like it? Your reasoning? Let's talk about it down below. And then number 9, what did you think happened to Kevin? Do you think he deserved it? I think they probably killed him. I mean, they literally sent him a lock of the hair. Did he deserve it? I don't know. That one I struggle with. If it had been in the beginning, yes, 100%. He was literally going to rape her. He was following her. He was stalking her. He was harassing her. But I keep thinking about that last instance where he apologized. And not that apology forgives everything. You know, some things in life you can't apologize for. Does he deserve jail time? Does he deserve a restraining order? All those things. Did he deserve to die? Especially to be tortured. Because that's the problem. Daisy doesn't just kill them. She tortures them before she kills them. It never goes into detail of what the torture is. I don't know if I'd want to know. But that's what the cops say. So, did he deserve to be tortured? I mean, she was in fear, Sydney. And it's, you know, maybe he needed to feel some fear for sure. But I don't know about him necessarily dying. Could he have been harmed? Hit by a car, maybe? Broken a leg or an arm? But I never condone killing. You know, unless it's like self-defense in the moment. I never want to be the reason that, you know, there's not a life in this world. Because, you know, they can be a shitty person, but there's somebody's son, somebody's father, somebody's nephew, somebody's cousin, somebody's uncle, somebody, you know? So that one's a rough one. Let me know what you guys think. And then number 10, it says discuss Sydney's future. Then discuss Tom's future. Do you think each are happy? I think Sydney's happy. Her and Jake end up together. And she has the life that she wants. She had to go through a lot of scary moments. And she probably has a hard time trusting people. Especially after with the whole Gretchen Daisy thing. But I do, and you know, it's sad she lost Bonnie. But, you know, she has Jake. So I think she's happy. Tom, I am not sure. Tom is peculiar. In a way, he could be happy because he's finally with Daisy, who he's always wanted to be with. But in another way, he did give up a big part of his life. He can't have his mom in his life anymore because they had to go on the run. He can't be a surgeon anymore. Like, I forgot, a pathologist, I think it was called. The person who performs the autopsies. He has to be on the run now. That is like a very different way of life. Is Daisy worth all that? I guess it depends on how much he loves her. I don't know if he's necessarily happy. I don't know, but I do think Sydney's happy. Let me know what you guys think about that. The last one is casting the characters. I got on here so happy because I just finished the book and I wanted to do all those fresh in my mind. So I'm actually going to get off now. I got to do some Google's research and think about who I think would fit these characters really well. I do have an idea for some characters for sure, but not all of them. And I don't know their names. Like, right away for Tom, I think of... oh my God, something Westwick. Is it Ed Westwick? He was in Gossip Girl because he kind of gives me those like creepy vibes. The one that played Chuck. And then for Jake, I automatically think of the cop in Manifest, but I don't know their names. So I'm going to do some Google searches, get some screenshots. I will hop back on and do that. Might not be tonight because I have some other videos I need to film. So I might be in a different outfit, different setting. But that is questions 1 through 10, and I will be back with casting the characters. Guys, I am back. I did my research. I got the actors' names. So we do have a specific list. I pinned it in the comment when I posted the question video last week. So for the cast listing, we are doing Sydney, Tom, Daisy, Gretchen, Randy, Bonnie, Kevin, and Slug. And then I added Jake at the end just because there was a very specific person I thought of the whole time I read Jake's part. So let's start with Sydney. And I feel like this is a very obvious one, but could not help it. I automatically thought of Sydney Sweeney. Sydney Sweeney has been, I don't know if blowing up is the right word, but I feel like she has just been showing up in a lot of movies recently. I just went to go see, not too long ago, Anyone But You, which she was in. She was in Euphoria. She was in, it was called Immaculate, literally just this year. She was in Madam Web just this year. She's been in a lot of movies. Eden was just this year. She was in White Lotus. She has been in just a lot of things in the, 2021 to 2024 range. Euphoria was 2019, but you know what I mean? Like, she's very, recently become popular, and because her name is Sydney, she was just literally the person that automatically came to mind. So for me, Sydney, I imagined Sydney Sweeney. And a little fun fact, if you guys don't know, but we read the Housemaid series together as a book club by Freida McFadden, and Sydney Sweeney actually just signed on to play one of the characters in The Housemaid. I forget which one. It's her and Amanda Seyfried. I always forget how to say her name, but the girl from Mean Girls. One is going to play Millie, and one is going to play the wife. I forgot the wife's character's name. But I think that's, too, another reason why Sydney was on, the top of my brain. Because right now she is connected to Freida McFadden, and we read a Freida McFadden book, obviously. Then, for Tom, I know I mentioned, I was thinking about one of the characters from Gossip Girl. And I literally imagined Penn Badley. I feel like he would play Tom so well because Penn Badley could, especially since he's been in the show You, where he literally plays a Killer. YouTube likes to flag me, so gotta be careful what I say. People still love him. They're still attracted to him. It's crazy how he can literally play a Killer, and yet people forgive him. And I think it's because... Who just texted me? Oh, I don't know. Anyway, Joe! It was Joe that just texted me. Anyway. So, and I think it's because he only killed, I just said that word, bad people. Which is kind of like the Tom vibes. He also fits, the right age range because they are in their, mid to later 30s, and he's 38. So I think he would play a really, really good Tom, Penn Badley. Then for Daisy, she has been around for a while, this actress that I thought of, but I feel like she's definitely blown up more recently due to Beetlejuice and Wednesday, and I literally thought of Jenna Ortega because she has that creepy but could be a good girl vibe. She just plays like the little creepy characters so well, and we all know Daisy's a creep. So I feel like she would play a really good Daisy. And then Gretchen, no spoiler here, obviously you just heard my review. Gretchen is basically Daisy as a grown woman. So I automatically thought of the woman who plays her mom in Beetlejuice, which is Winona Ryder. She is a little older for the role, and there might be a better person for that role. But honestly, in my mind, that is literally who I thought of, because she was the mom in Beetlejuice, her mom. You know who, just popped in my head that would probably do really good with the role too? Salma Hayek. And I'm pretty sure, Jenny Ortega, I'm pretty sure has, some Mexican descent in her. And Salma Hayek, I'm pretty sure, either way, they're all definitely, in that Latin, family. And yeah, it says right here she's a Mexican-American actress. And she's someone I could see playing like a creepy... She's such an incredible actress. I could see her doing that creepy role, and I could see her being like the sweet mom next door too. So you know what? I actually changed my mind. Not Winona Ryder. I would definitely do Salma Hayek for her. For sure. For Gretchen, which is Grown Up Daisy. For Randy, I thought of another Gossip Girl character, and that was Ed Westwick. Ed Westwick played Chuck, and he kind of gives me like creepy vibes. I know women are attracted to him. He was never my type. There's just, you know how they kept saying with Randy, there was just something about him? That's how I feel sometimes with Chuck's role from Gossip Girl. It was like there was just something about him that like never like clicked with me. So he just gives me the perfect Randy vibes. Although I don't know, I don't think and I don't want to sound rude, to each their own, I'm not everyone's cup of tea, but they kind of explained Randy as like not unattractive, but they kept saying like Gretchen could have done better. And in my humble opinion, Ed Westwick, like I said, because he's not my type, I'm not necessarily attracted to him, so I feel he would be like a really good Randy. He does look better right here, like that. He kind of has a model look right there with facial hair, but like no facial hair, yeah. So Ed Westwick, again, my humble opinion, I'm not everyone's cup of tea either. It's a-okay. Then for Bonnie, probably kindly a cop-out, but I literally thought of just another Bonnie, just like Sydney with Sydney Sweeney. I can't help it. That's just like, I guess, where my brain goes. And I thought of, although her real name's not Bonnie, Sydney Sweeney, her real name is Sydney, but I actually thought of the girl that plays Bonnie in Vampire Diaries, which is Kat Graham. And that's who I thought of for Bonnie. And I honestly, Bonnie had a very small role in the beginning. I mean, you guys know she was Killed very quickly. So I don't even know if she was described very well. But then again, you know, she was described as a white woman. Let's change things up a little bit. It kind of fits the perfect age range because she is 35. Salma Hayek would definitely not be the age range because she's like in her 50s, same as Winona Ryder. But Salma Hayek looks amazing. And she could definitely pull off like a older 30s woman, honestly. So that is literally who I thought of for Bonnie, which is Kat Graham. And then for Kevin, I feel like this is going to be another mean one. Alright, so as you guys know, Kevin was kind of like the catfish, you know. It was a guy that showed up and it's not who she was expecting. He kind of looked like his pictures, but then it fully looked like his pictures. It was kind of a creep. And I do not want the Jonas fans to attack me, but I thought of Kevin Jonas, and I think it's because his name is Kevin. Not that he is creepy at all. I mean, I don't know him personally, but he's in that age range. He's in his upper 30s, and I could see, like, if you saw a picture of like Nick Jonas or Joe Jonas, and then Kevin Jonas came up, I could be like, okay, he just catfished me. He looks like them, but yeah, he's not them. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I thought of. Kevin Jonas is an attractive man. He is not unattractive at all. He looks a lot like his brother. So don't take that the wrong way, because she definitely made Kevin's character, like, gross. I mean, you want to not like him. You want him to be the bad guy, obviously. And I don't think Kevin Jonas is a bad guy at all. But, you know, when you're an actor, you got to play roles. Just like, don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure Nick Jonas had a TV show. It was like one of those, like, you had to subscribe to the channel. And I think he played a gay boxer. And Nick, or is it Joe Jonas? Not Nick Jonas. I forgot which Jonas. But he's not gay in real life. You know, just like Will and Grace, the guy that plays Will, is not gay in real life, you know? So you can be a good person and have to play a shitty character. Sometimes they want to do that. They want to play more of the evil role, and it's like something fun for them. So don't take it the wrong way, but I thought of Kevin Jonas for the character of Kevin. And then Slug, he would be way too old now. But again, when we're talking about Slug, we're talking about the past. I don't know if there actually is a time frame for this book. I mean, she just wrote The Boyfriend in 2024. So you figure 20 years ago would have been like 2000. And I thought of Shane Kipple. So if you guys don't know who Shane Kipple is, he was a character on Degrassi. And it's not that I don't find him attractive. at all. I don't know why this man kept popping in my head for Slug. Maybe because Slug, Shane. And I think it was because I was just trying to think of teenage characters. That's why Jenny Ortega popped up in my head, because even though she's in her 20s, you know, she plays Wednesday Addams, who's a high schooler. Slug is a teenage, is teenage, he didn't even make it to be an adult, sadly, because Daisy killed him. But when Shane Kipple was in Degrassi, he was playing a teenager, so I imagined the teenage version of him. His name in the show was Gavin, but everyone called him Spinner, and he was kind of like the unlikable one, so like maybe that's why I thought of him for Slug, because Slug was like an unlikable guy. But yeah, I literally thought of Shane Kipple for Slug, but it's not that he's unattractive, and she did make Slug sound really unattractive, I mean, with a name like Slug. But I literally just kept thinking of Shane Kipple. So that is the list we came up with. And then, like I said, I did want to mention this one because I literally kept thinking him the entire time that I read this book. So every time the role of Jake came up, which is Sydney's ex-boyfriend, who is a cop, I thought of J.R. Ramirez. And I know him from Manifest. I love the show Manifest. It is on Netflix. If you guys have never seen it, it is so incredibly good. It was originally on, I forgot if it was ABC, NBC, one of those. And then it got canceled in 2020 due to the C word. And Netflix picked it back up to finish it. They were just going to do one more season, part 1, part 2, to finish it up. So I'm so glad they did. They were able to tie up loose ends, especially because the season finale, when it got canceled on TV, was like I don't even want to ruin it for you guys. I'm just gonna say a main character dies, another main character comes back to life, so good. And so I was so glad Netflix picked it up and did one more season of it. But his name is Jake in, see how my brain works, in Manifest. I'm pretty sure his name is Jake, or if not, it's definitely a J name. Does it actually say what he played? Oh, it was Jared. Okay, Jared Jake. And he was a cop. He was the main character's partner, because she's a cop and he was a cop, and he was also the love interest and all those things. But if you've never seen Manifest, definitely watch it. I thought of him the whole time I read of the character of Jake. So that is the casting list. That is the end of the review. It was a 5-star read for me. It was my favorite read of November, 100%. Today is December 1st when I'm filming this part. So this is literally going up tomorrow. And I had just made, every month on Instagram, I link it down below if you guys are interested, I post what I read for the month. And I read 8 books this month, and I didn't like 6 of them. Maybe 5 of them. I don't even remember 5 of them. That shows how unimportant they were, because they're not even memorable. There was only 2 I liked, but 1 I didn't end up liking the ending. The Boyfriend was my favorite read of November. It was so incredibly good. I love Freida McFadden. I'm sure we will read more of her in the future. She's an incredible author. We are going to see so much of her. I can literally see a lot of her books getting movie deals. I think she's surpassing some really big authors out there. Someone posted, I'm part of the Freida McFadden fan club, and someone said how they saw a shelf and it said bestsellers of the week, and they love seeing her on the side of Stephen King, who is huge and has 1 million books turned into movies. I think she's literally the next Stephen King, in my opinion. Let me know what you guys think of Freida McFadden, what you thought of The Boyfriend. Is this your first book by her? Have you read many by her? If you have, what's your favorite? I still have to say I think The Inmate is my favorite. I know Charmaine said this one was her favorite now. It took place of The Inmate. But it's literally right there. It's Inmate and The Boyfriend. They're literally touching each other. It was such an incredible book. My mind was blown. My jaw dropped. And that is one thing I love about Freida McFadden. That is the end of this review. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, let me know your star rating the book. Answer any of the questions down below if you wish. Don't forget to check out my friend Charmaine. She will be in the title or in the description box or anything like that. I cannot wait to watch her video tomorrow, today, when you guys are watching this, to see what she thought. I always love watching her videos because her personality really comes out, and she gets so giddy and excited talking about books. She's a book channel through and through. If that's someone that interests you, watch her. I definitely do book content, but it's not my only content. I do unboxings, hauls, mystery boxes, gift basket videos, vlogs, outfits of the week, what's up Wednesdays. I've been posting at least 5 days a week. I used to post at least 6. I'm going to try to get back into that. I'm just counting down the days for my 2 weeks vacation at work so I can finally play catch up and get my life together as usual, guys, because you guys know my life's never together. That's why I'm filming the day before the video is due. But anyway, that is the end of the video. Let me know what you thought of the book, and be safe, guys.